On behalf of College Bound, in partnership with the National Visionary Leadership Project, our moderator for this evening is an award-winning producer and educator, Dr. Camille Cosby of the National Visionary Leadership Project.
Dr. Sanchez, who or what formed your strong sense of self and clarity of purpose in all that you've done and do?
See, I start off with an easy question, right? My dad, who was a school teacher, always expected us to do well. He expected us to look at this work and read and become someone. He didn't tell me what I had to become, but I knew that I had to become someone relatively important, someone who did things. My father didn't always like what I did, you know, when I engaged in civil rights activities, whatever. Before my father died at 96, he leaned over and said to me, he thanked me for being his daughter. And he said, I understand now what you've been doing all these years. And I asked his forgiveness for all those 2 terrible poems I wrote about him when I was very young, right?
Dr. Driscoll, what motivated you to get on the path of excellence?
In the foothills of North Carolina, attending a one-room segregated school, I got a passion for learning from a teacher who said that the way out of this, meaning the little farming and whatever we did in that mountainous community, was through education.
Did you ever move away from that path of excellence?
My teacher said I did.
Ms. Guy, how can the arts motivate students to learn, especially those who have been turned off from learning?
Well, I think for many, the only reason some kids are interested in school is because of the arts. I went to visit Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta, which is a small private school that Ron Clark started, and I walked into his math class and he was standing on the desk doing a rap song. And the kids were answering them. And he had then he jumped off the desk and started writing this problem that was so long, it had lines and it went off the board, and I started laughing. I thought he was making a joke, because it looked like scribbly scratch to me.
Yes.
And those kids answered it, and they knew the rules because he had made a rap song for every rule. And I was like, well, shoot, if I had a class like that, I would know something. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about algebra or geometry. My daughter's like, please don't help me.
And Dr. Cole, what must we do as the populace of the United States of America to pressure our state and federal governments to provide an equal public education?
I'm so often confronted with the reality that we do know what to do.
Yep.
That the major ingredient that is missing is human will.
Yes.
Our will to put our children first.
Now for the young person on this panel. What would you say to young people who are subjected to peer pressure to not pursue an education?
Peer pressure for me is something that you can't get away from. Be that individual that's going to stand out. Do something that you think is going to be unpopular. Because at this day and time, it's very important to go to college.
Make peace with yourself. Center yourself. Have goals and objectives. Don't let anybody turn you around from those goals and objectives, and pursue them with diligence.
The next civil rights motion and movement here in this country is education. It is us looking at the educational system and being activists about it. We can't lean back and say, by golly, by gee, the children aren't learning. No, we must go in to the schools like we did in New York City many years ago when they said our children could not learn. We went in, new graduates, went in and tossed out old stuff, brought in new books, put in new pictures, and the scores were raised. Let me tell you, we must teach these children because this country needs them, the world needs them also too.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.